acho que toda vez que alguém olhar, procurar saber, cara, vamos saber quem que foi esse cara. As pessoas vão ver, desde o começo, não acredito, esse cara fez isso.
He is the greatest of all time.
Eu acho que você tem momentos mágicos. Em todo esporte existe isso. Michael Jordan, ele teve momentos mágicos. Você fala, cara, como que esse cara fez isso? Você pode eternizar os seus feitos, mas você ser uma pessoa que não vai dar certo.
Let's go get this done, son. Y'all ready? Y'all fight? Let's go get it right, baby.
Não tem si dessa vez, campeão. Se tivesse feito isso aqui, nós vamos fazer tudo o que a gente quiser hoje ali dentro. Não tem si hoje, meu irmão. Hoje, meu irmão, vamos matar esse cara.
Todas as vezes eu sempre coloquei na minha cabeça o seguinte: pode ser que hoje seja o dia da derrota. Por muito tempo as pessoas achavam que eu era invencível. Ninguém é invencível. Todo mundo tem o seu momento da nuvem negra.
There's a good shot to the body. Oh, he checked it.
He hurt his leg, and it is all over.
Okay, relax. The doctor's got you.
That's a serious fracture of the leg. I mean, it's going to be difficult for him to walk again for a long time. That's a very serious injury, and this might be the end of a great mixed martial arts career.
They said it would never happen. Anderson Silva is approaching 40 years old. The injury was too devastating, career-ending.
I'm done with mixed martial arts.
Nick Diaz had retired from the sport. He was too wild, uncontrollable. But at UFC 183, the unimaginable becomes reality. Two of the most celebrated stars of our generation will meet in a dream matchup. The card gets deeper with Tyron Woodley welcoming Kelvin Gastelum to the welterweight elite. And thrilling lightweight Joe Lozon faces raging Al Iaquinta. Get ready for Countdown to UFC 183.
Okay, relax. The doctor's got you.
Eu fui o primeiro que conseguiu entrar no octagon. Né? Eu me lembro que ele falou, mestre, por que Deus está fazendo isso comigo?
Ele estava tentando me acalmar, porque ele estava vendo a gravidade da lesão.
Foi doloroso ver o Anderson sofrer desse jeito.
Tem coisas que eu nem me lembro mais.
Anderson was rushed from the MGM Grand to University Medical Center in Las Vegas, where he would undergo emergency surgery on his leg that same night. Dr. Stephen Sanders was at the helm.
This sawbones model shows the tibia and the fibula intact. Anderson's fracture occurred roughly at about this level. The fixation device was this Smith-Nephew intramedullary rod that is placed inside the tibia. And the entry port would be at the very top of the knee, and then through that hole, the nail is advanced down toward the ankle, and at that time, stabilizing the fracture. He was concerned mostly when he could start training again. I was mostly concerned about getting the fracture fixed. He has an excellent prognosis for healing, but he's a long way, being less than 48 hours, he's a long way from now to when, he achieves union or fracture healing.
A princípio, minha família não queria que eu voltasse.
Na real, eu não quero que ele lute mais. Quero que ele pare e passar mais tempo com a família mesmo.
Mas eu conversei com todos eles e falei, olha só, isso é o que eu sou, isso é o que eu faço. Porque se vocês tirarem isso de mim agora, vocês vão estar tirando minha vida.
A gente começou, foi aos poucos, vendo devagar, eu fui, até que daqui a pouco a gente começou a descarregar o peso naquela perna.
He started to walk 3 weeks after surgery. He did physical therapy every day, more than 3 hours. The first kick he did 1.5 months.
Eu fazia alguma coisa e eu postava. Falei, cara, eu acho importante as pessoas saberem que eu tô melhorando, que eu tô ficando bom, né? Ficando comovidas e tal.
Por isso canta, dança, como eu.
Foi super bacana, porque isso me ajudou também a falar, caramba, é isso, eu preciso voltar, eu tenho que voltar, vambora. As pessoas querem ver. Você, pô, é isso aí, vai lá pegar esse cinturão. Já é uma nova etapa, né? É uma outra fase da minha vida. Vamos pra cima, vamos embora.
People didn't think they were gonna have to fight when they were young. And they didn't start training their boxing, punching, and I already knew I was gonna have to fight. Regardless whether it was for money or professionally, I was just getting pushed around, you know, and then that just became a lifestyle for me, so I had to learn how to fight.
"14 years into making fighting a career, Nick Diaz's accomplishments are extensive. From facing a young Robbie Lawler in the early days of the UFC, to taking on Takanori Gomi during the Pride era, and winning and defending the Strikeforce title several times over. And all the while, he went against the grain.
You know, he's gonna try to walk through me, and you know, he's not gonna walk through me.
He had a sometimes brazen authenticity.
This guy has no punching power, no offense, I'm sorry, you're a wrestler.
But that resonated.
Can you back that up a little bit? Thank you. I don't have a dressy suit either. If this guy stands up in the middle of the cage after he wins a fight and says, hey, I wanna fight Nick Diaz, I'll hop the cage and I'll get up in this face and I say, what's up, let's do this. I gotta be the bad guy, you're gonna point the finger, make me the bad guy, I'm the bad guy, now I get a fight.
And he became celebrated amongst fans.
BJ's hurt. Oh! Big combination connects again.
I have never seen BJ get battered like this on the feet, Mike.
He's stumbling on the fence.
This is the most busted up we have ever seen BJ Penn.
But there was always the one fight he wanted most.
I think George is hurt. I think he's scared.
You really think I'm afraid of you?
Hey, that's fine.
Are you crazy in your head, man?
Where you at, George? Where you at?
Nick needs motivation. He's got it. He's gonna fight George St. Pierre.
But after spending his career getting to the pinnacle of the sport,
This is the best opportunity for Nick Diaz to win this fight. If he can keep the fight like this.
he fell short at the very end.
I want a rematch, I think I can beat you. That's what I think.
Looking forward to
Rematch.
But a sequel against George St. Pierre was off the table, and Diaz had his doubts about working his way back to another title fight.
I've done everything I set out to do. I fought everybody that started from when I did in my era, my generation. I'm not going to fight none of these guys out here. They came in after me. I didn't really want to climb the rankings all over again.
So for 2 years, Nick Diaz sat on the sidelines. And for 2 years, a monumental fight was the only thing that could get him to come back.
For this fight, I'm, pretty much got the fight that makes the most sense for me to keep fighting.
Sweep the leg, Nick.
I don't want to be 20 years, 10 years down the road going, why didn't I take this fight?
Back him up, Nick.
I've made it to where, I'm a big draw, and they want to see this fight, so now we're going to have this fight. Of course, I'm going to take the fight.
Eu acho que assim, o importante dessa coisa de você vir de uma lesão grave como foi a minha, mentalmente, isso era uma coisa, assim, era uma luta diária.
Então, ele teve uma perda de força, 40%, só que a gente tinha tempo, óbvio, para recuperar isso.
5 minutos rodando isso, sem parar. Preparou? Vai.
Foi um momento difícil, né, durante o começo do treino de adaptação para voltar. Mas foi bacana porque a gente acabou descobrindo outras maneiras de ganhar força para a perna e desenvolver outras habilidades que estavam ali, entendeu? Então foi bem legal.
Like his UFC 183 opponent Anderson Silva, Nick Diaz has had some time off from the sport. But where some could see that as a disadvantage, the 14-year veteran sees it differently.
I'm healthy. I've been having to cut weight to 170 pounds like every 3 months since I was 17 years old. This whole past year has been really good for me to get a better perspective from the outside, not fighting. Take some time off of getting punched around. I've really come to understand some things about recovery time and just things like that I've never had a chance to really do or risk doing when I had a fight coming up.
Time.
Now that he's back, he has had the opportunity to progress his craft with a fresh outlook under longtime boxing coach Richard Perez, who has been with him since UFC 47.
Come on. Look on the inside. Slip down body shot. Jab. Come on, let's get it right. Right there. There you go. Feel that? Do it again. Come on.
The improvement is he's hitting harder. That's what I like.
You see how you're throwing that? Do it down here. Come on. There you go, Nick.
People don't realize how tough Nick is and how hard he hits and what he's got up here as far as fighting.
Yeah. Come on. Step out. Body.
That's his life.
Step out. Come on, step out. Lift your body. There you go. Woo. That's what I want.
For this fight, Nick Diaz agreed to take the bout at Silva's weight class, 185 pounds. Even though he spent most of his career and experienced much of his success at 170.
I've fought at this weight before pretty much. I felt great. If you notice, a lot of my fights, I'm pretty narrow. Fighting at 170 pounds, So now that I'm fighting heavier, for this fight, you know, I'm gonna be a lot stronger than I am in any fight I would do at 170.
A partir do momento que ele conseguisse correr e saltar, para mim, ele já está apto a chutar.
A gente não mudou muito a minha característica e o que eu venho fazendo desde que eu comecei a lutar. E assim, a gente está chegando no que a gente quer. Já faço todos os movimentos, já estou estando, estou fazendo tudo que precisa ser feito.
When we decided to take the fight with Nick Diaz, it was just a fight that makes sense. Two of the best boxers in our sport. Nick Diaz wanted a big fight, and they both had a lot of time off. It just made sense, and it was the right time to do a fight like this.
O Nick Diaz é um cara muito perigoso e é um desafio tanto para ele quanto para mim.
Eu sempre falo para ele, eu acho que você ainda tinha que se superar mais do que você fez. Por incrível que pareça, você ainda tinha que fazer mais. Só realmente um homem muito determinado, muito disposto, que voltaria a lutar e voltaria a encarar uma próxima luta e um próximo desafio.
Bad dog, you're gonna be trouble. Bad dog, I'm putting you down.
Today, UFC 183 main event fighter Nick Diaz makes the 80-mile drive west to San Francisco for a tune-up at El Nino Training Center, the home of number 4 UFC lightweight Gilbert Melendez. After going 3 5-minute rounds with former Strikeforce middleweight champ Jake Shields, it's straight into another 3 5-minute rounds, this time with 6'8" Xavier Vigny, a heavyweight kickboxer. But it doesn't end there.
6 rounds later.
Nick would match up with current #1 middleweight kickboxer Joe Schilling, who has collected multiple world titles of his own for rounds 7 through 9.
Nick's one of those people you'd ever bet against. You know, there's something in Nick that not many people have.
I've been around this sport for 15 years, and Nick Diaz is the hardest worker I've ever seen. I've been around pretty much all the top pros. The guy never stops working.
Only a special person can last with 3 guys like that, you know, and can keep such composure. You know, competing against Anderson, you know, he's only fighting one man. You know, he's only gonna fight one man. He might be the greatest of all time, but it's one man.
Look, we gotta fight. He's a big popular draw. I'm a big popular draw. We're the best there is. The 2 people that everyone wants to see, they're gonna fight each other. He does martial arts, he's a black belt. I respect that. I do martial arts, I'm a black belt. He obviously respects that. I don't have nothing to say to my opponent. I don't have, oh, you know, I think Anderson, oh, you know, there's nothing to say. There ain't no bitches or no yous. That would be way out of line.
This is huge, man. Who jumps up to fight the greatest of all time? Nick Diaz.
And 2 of the most accomplished and captivating fighters of our generation finally return to the octagon, with Stockton's Nick Diaz promising to deliver.
You get this guy running in trying to take you down, it's boring. So we don't do that.
And with the return of perhaps the greatest fighter the sport has ever seen, many questions will be answered.
Caramba, é isso, eu preciso voltar, eu tenho que voltar, vambora.
Anderson Silva versus Nick Diaz, UFC 183.
He is the greatest of all time.